120 seconds. 110 seconds. 100 seconds. 90 seconds. 80 seconds. 70 seconds. 60 seconds. 50 seconds. 40 seconds. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Okay, my friends, once again, it is indeed time to get our talk on. It's Morning Talk with me, your host, J.C. McCauley, along with the champions of talk. This morning's talk champion in the house, none other than the one and only Cacique.
Stan, thank you. Thank you for that wonderful greeting, and greetings to all our viewers and our listeners. I hope you all had a wonderful week, man.
How was your week?
I gotta tell you, Stan, I feel very fortunate, man, to have my health, and everything is going great. I mean, this show is going wonderful. We're getting a lot of information out to the community. The chess club is picking up, and you know, family life at home is great, man. So I can't ask for more. I think that I'm happy, right now. I think I'm living my best life, brother.
Living your best life. No better life to live.
Yes, brother. Yes.
I like that.
I feel real good about the way that things are going now. I'm happy about your campaign. I hear great things about it. I know that the bus is out there every day, And so good things are happening in Hartford, so I'm happy about that, man.
All right. Chess Club's going good, though, huh?
Chess Club is going good, man. Sunday
I
I
see
had
lots of things, activities, pictures, video.
Yeah. No, and Sunday I had chess and cake from 6 to 8, and then we watched the game. It was incredible. We were there till about 10:30, man. Played some great chess and great conversations.
Now, you said chess and cake?
Yeah, my friend Willie Royster, he baked the cake, a huge cake, coconut pineapple, folks. And it was magnificent, man. So we had cake with coffee and tea. It was really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, where is this place?
The Taino Chess Club is located at 1020 Farmington Avenue in Berlin. And we're open Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 4 to 9.
Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
And Saturday.
and
from
Saturday.
4 to 9. Yes.
4 to 9 in the evening.
Yes.
All right.
And we open on Sundays, like if there's a special occasion, like last week we had the game, so we can open for stuff like that because people look for a place to spend a couple hours, in peace and doing something that they enjoy.
That's pretty cool. Do you have classes?
We're getting ready to do that, Stan. I'm in talks with a couple different people that have experience doing what's called scholastic chess, which is chess for children, and then we have a couple tournaments that we're lining up, for adults. But yeah, classes are available. Private classes are available, and group classes are available. Yes.
All right. So if people want to come down there, they want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
They can call me. My number is 860-402-3095, or they can reach me by email, loud412@sbcglobal.net.
All right. Were you able to check out the program from last Friday?
Brother, it wasn't Friday. I went Saturday, and it was absolutely magnificent, man. And we're talking about the Gifted Ones, the program that is run by Kim Bridges and her people, her staff. They were outstanding. They put on a couple skits, and these kids were amazing, man. I mean, I thought they were good enough to be on TV to me, and I'm not exaggerating. They were very good. Miss Kim runs a very tight ship. And I think that people should think about, seriously making donations to that program so it can be funded and they don't have to worry about that. They provide a great avenue for our kids to exist in safety. They learn, their creativity is put out in full display. They're allowed. It's one of the few places in Hartford where our black and brown kids can be themselves. So it's a great safe space for them, and I'm very happy about that. The Gifted Ones with Kim Bridges, please reach out to her and see what you could do about making a donation.
Anything she touches turns to platinum.
She's absolutely wonderful.
Platinum.
And this is one of the people that when we talk about Hartford's Got Talent, and we keep mentioning people, here's another great example of someone who has been in our community for years, has been doing it on her own with very little support from anyone, and she's managed to keep the thing going. The sustainability that she has shown is just absolutely wonderful, Stan.
You got to get her in here.
She says she wants to come in.
All right.
So I'll get in touch with her, and we'll try to get her in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
And before I forget, I talked to Chief Daryl Roberts, and we're going to wait for all the graduations and all the hoopla that goes on at the end of the year because they're very busy, and then we'll get him in as soon as all this stuff is over.
Sounds like a plan. In the background, Jay Hogarth. He was in studio last week.
I seen that,
great
man.
Interview.
I seen that, Stan. That was hot, man.
This is what's playing. This is yours.
Yes. Thank you, brother.
This is yours.
Thank you. I love this album.
Yeah. Great album.
Yes.
We got special guests joining us this morning. Greater Hartford Pro Am.
Yes. We have a young lion, a young leader, someone that I'm very happy to introduce. I just met him, but he's doing great things. His name is Anthony Price, and he's the commissioner of the Greater Hartford Pro-Am. Anthony, welcome, brother.
Well, thanks a lot. It's good to be here.
Wonderful, man. I'm so happy to have you. I originally invited Pete, who was the founder, and then he said, I got a guy because he's a public speaker, and he has a lot of content. And so we're so happy to have you. We'll get Pete on it sometime, but we're so happy to have you. Tell us a little bit about the Pro-Am, Anthony.
Well, this is great news. We're celebrating our 25th year.
Nice.
And when you think about that, not too many people can remember what they had for breakfast a couple days, and we're celebrating 25 years. So it's been a great ride. We're looking forward to the ride continuing maybe for another 25 years or so. And really what the Greater Hartford Pro-Am is, it's community. It's an opportunity for college basketball players, professional basketball players, whether in the U.S. or overseas, to come and showcase their talent. It's an opportunity for them to give back to the community. These are phenomenal events, great talent that we get to see. The entertainment level is really high, dunks and three-point baskets and assists and steals and all those great things. And it's happening here in our community. So we are blessed to have such a phenomenal level of basketball being played here during the summer.
I completely agree, Anthony. It's outstanding. I remember when it was at Fox Middle, and then they moved it over to the school over by Coates Park, and then at one point they moved to Waterbury because they weren't able to make it happen. But I have to commend Pete and give him a huge shout out because he always stayed steady. He never gave up. That was his vision, and I love how it's transition now, where it seems like you're going to have a little bit more of a permanent home. Now, where is this new place, Anthony?
So we're going to be at St. Joseph's University in West Hartford, Connecticut. So right over the border from Hartford, not far, but we're still in the community, still in the area, and we're really excited to be able to play at St. Joseph's. We had a press conference last week, and it was phenomenal to see the mayor of West Hartford, as well as our title sponsor, Hartford Healthcare CEO Jeff Flax was there. And I guess the big name there really that day was the legendary Hall of Fame coach Jim Calhoun was there to talk about the Pro-Am, UConn, and actually the gym that we're playing in, they actually sort of laugh about it because they call it the gym, J-I-M. Because it is the gym that Jim Calhoun built with his legacy that he leaves, and he continues to be a shining light for basketball in this area and all the wonderful kids and grown men that have gone through his program over the years.
That is outstanding. I remember, we had at Fox. I used to go to those games regularly. And a lot of the UConn players, man, play there. A lot of them every year. So they was like, they had like a connection automatically from the beginning.
Oh, absolutely. It's sort of like a pipeline. You look at UConn's not too far away, and the kids that were around during the summertime would play. And, I can mention tons of names: Doug Wiggins, Ray Allen, the list goes on and on, Kevin Ollie. Just so many players. Jeremy Lamb played in there.
Yes.
Just so many UConn players have played there. So think about it. If you're a family and you don't have the resources to go see UConn play because all those games sell out, to be able to be in a gym and be feet away from some of these phenomenal players,
yes,
that's beautiful.
It's an amazing experience for the fans. I agree. The gym was crowded wall to wall, man. I'm so happy. So when does the season begin, Anthony?
So the season is actually right around the corner. June 25th, we'll be playing. We'll be tipping it off, and then we'll be playing until August 16th or so when the playoffs start or end. We're one of the few Pro-Ams in the country that actually has a best of 3 games. So you have to win 2 games to win the championship. So it's more entertainment for the community. So it's going to be kicking off soon, June 25th.
Absolutely. That's wonderful, man. So, Anthony, I'm so happy that, to have you on because Stan and I make it a point to try to bring information to the community about the programs that are going, that are good, for our children, for our men and women. And I think that the Pro-Am fills all of that. Is great family entertainment, is a very safe environment. I've never heard of any nonsense like you hear in other places. So I'm so happy that it is starting. Congratulations, man. And how do people, is it a for-profit or a non-profit? Is there a way that people can donate? Because I know you guys, you can't do it for free, Anthony.
Oh, absolutely. That's the beauty of this whole thing. Pete Higgins has been doing this for 25 years. This has never been about money for him. It's always been about, what can I give back to the community? That's the type of person that Pete Higgins is, the founder. But at the end of the day, it does take resources to put this on. I mean, we have wonderful officials that come every game and, make sure the game is played at the highest level. We play under NBA modified rules. So the officials have to get paid. We have to pay for the gym, uniforms, and, there's a whole list of things that have to be paid for. So, it does take resources, and that's why we're so fortunate to have our title sponsor, Hartford Healthcare, to help defray the cost. But it's never really been about money. And in fact, these games are free. So that's why we love this opportunity to showcase what we have, because there is no barrier to enter. The community comes and sees great basketball. And, during the summertime, people are always looking for things to do. If you're not at the beach, sometimes you're looking for somewhere to be where there's air conditioning and great entertainment, and that's not going to burn a hole in your wallet. And we're here. We'll be here throughout the summer, providing great basketball. And I want to tell Pete's story, but I don't want to jump ahead too soon. But I do want to tell Pete the story of Pete Higgins and how he created this league.
Well, I had it real quick. So you can come and watch the game for free.
Yes.
So everybody here watching, I mean, you can go.
Yeah.
So how many games are there? How many games?
There's usually 2 games a night, right, Anthony?
Yeah, some days we'll have triple headers, usually a couple games a night. All in total, it's probably going to be about around 50 games or so.
Wow.
A little bit more, including the playoffs. So lots of great talent. But don't sit around and wait for the last game, because by the time it gets to the playoffs, we'll be playing in front of the teams will be playing in front of packed houses. It's great. I know last year, when we got down to the championship, that's when some of the NBA players will pop in, when they're around. We had Tremont Waters, the former standout here in, I believe it was Hamden area, who went to LSU and then was drafted by the Boston Celtics. He was there. And we have other pros that are coming in. Actually, a great young player that played out last year was Tyler Betsy. He's being recruited by some of the top programs in the country. Duke University has offered him, according to information, a full ride, and some other top schools. So you're going to see some top talent in the area, and you're going to see some OGs, some players that still have that game in them, that are maybe in their 30s or late 30s, but still have that desire to play at the highest level.
And, I got to say this. From what I remember, Stan,
Mm-hmm.
the Pro-Am is a professional atmosphere. Like the level of play
Mm-hmm.
is above the leagues that are around here, the
Mm-hmm.
YMCA, the community leagues. This is the highest level of basketball that's being played in Connecticut. You know what I'm saying? The Pro-Am is just absolutely outstanding. So yes. And I remember Ryan Gomes playing there. What a showman that guy was. He was just such an entertainer. And I remember a lot of players coming down to watch. Our own Marcus Camby. I remember, what's his name? Jeff Van Gundy coming down. We've had a lot of notables, man, in the Pro-Am. I'm so happy that it's going on. How do people get involved, Anthony? How do you have to come in as a team, or can individuals try out? What's the process?
Yeah, so every year, teams are put together. There's a coach for each of the teams, and teams are put together. There is a process. We want to make sure that we're bringing the best talent around available to get involved with the team. So we do have a process. I believe this year we'll have 10 teams that'll be suiting up. And you mentioned Ryan Gomes. Ryan Gomes is a legend around here.
Yes.
Yeah, he was actually at the press conference that we had last week at St. Joseph's University.
It's
And just
outstanding.
to see him, he's actually coaching in the Overtime League, which is a league that is preparing young men to make that jump to play professional basketball. So he was there. He's always a crowd favorite. People were taking pictures at the press conference of him. He's a local legend. And I got a chance to kind of say something to Jim Calhoun. And I know he's been asked this so many times. I mean, I remember one time I heard an interview. He was on a podcast. And that year, he actually took Karan Butler, I would say, over Ryan Gomes. Not that Ryan Gomes was a good player. He blossomed into a phenomenal player at Providence College. But, at the college level, there's only so many players you can take. And, he's always asked about that. But UConn had a pretty good team that year and over the years. So it would have been great to see Ryan there. But we were treated to such phenomenal basketball at UConn that we didn't miss him in that sense in terms of wins and losses at the University of Connecticut.
Absolutely. If I had a critique of Jim Calhoun, it would be that and I think other people feel like this, is that he didn't recruit enough Connecticut players. And so, but UConn has been great, the men and the women's, and yes, Calhoun has done when he was there, he did a wonderful job, and he did a great job at St. Joseph's, and I'm so happy that he's a supporter of the Pro-Am, because people like that open doors,
Yeah. What I would say is, recruiting is a competitive process, and these kids have opportunities to go to so many schools. So I know that Jim Calhoun and his team did everything they could to bring the talent to their program. I mean, they think about it. There was more of a regional program maybe when Jim Calhoun started. I mean, Jim Calhoun was a high school coach at one point, and then he made his way to Northeastern University. And one of the best players that he coached at Northeastern, the late Reggie Lewis, was a phenomenal player at Northeastern who passed away much too early, having played for the Boston Celtics. But I know that they've done their best to bring, as many Connecticut players that want to go there to there. But it is a tough process to get those kids to go to UConn. At least it was early on in his tenure.
Absolutely, yes. So, what we were talking about the process. What do people do? How do they get involved? How do they get a team in the league?
Yeah. Well, I think at this point we're just about done with teams. As we said, we only can accommodate so many teams, so we're already at 10. But what we can do is we can start thinking about next year in terms of players. The way that it works is the professional players. If you're in the area, let's say, I don't know, a professional player wants to play, they can always drop in. There's always an opportunity for them to drop in. And some guys who do want to play, they can show up at the Pro-Am when we start to see if there might be an opportunity to get them on the teams. The way it usually works, most of the coaches, they look to go out and they talk to different kids who want to play, and they get them on the teams, and those teams tend to fill up early. But what I would suggest is someone looking to play and they're not currently on the team, show up when we start on June 25th, and there may be an opportunity for them to get on a team.
I'm going to know how you have the coaches, but how do you become a coach in the Pro-Am? How does that work?
Yeah, so there's been guys who coached over the years for a long time. So those guys tend to come back every year, and they tend to bring their own team. And that's the other thing too, is the sponsorship. Being able to, it's not just about just getting 8-10 guys on a team. There has to be the resources, and generally the coaches are able to get the sponsorship money to get the to put the teams together. So it is a process, and we'd love to be able to have more teams in the future, but generally 10 or so has been the number of teams that we like to have on a regular basis.
So,
but yeah, if you want to volunteer, there's probably opportunities. If you come June 25th and pop in, there may be some opportunities that day as well. I mean, there's so many different things that go on with the Pro-Am, between making sure we get the social media out there, on a regular basis, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. Last year, I wrote a story. I wrote a story about Pete Higgins, and I wrote a story about Guy Ragland Jr. And just a great local story, kid from West Hartford who goes to Cornell. So there's other things besides just coaching or playing to get involved with the program.
Absolutely. So tell us the story of Pete Higgins, brother.
Oh yeah. So this is a great story. It's really about a story of determination, of someone who wouldn't give up. And when you think about all these successful players, successful people in the world, you know, you hear the names of Steve Jobs, the late Steve Jobs, who started Apple, and you hear about Bill Gates, who started Microsoft, and you hear about some of these other great founders. There's always an interesting story with the founders. It's never, I started a company and the next year I was a $1 billion company. Pete Higgins was a former Navy member, and he was down in the Norfolk, Virginia area, which is one of the largest naval bases, if not the largest naval base in the world. He had served 4 years of active duty, and he was serving an additional 4 years of shore duty. And during that time, Pete was going to college. At that time, they had a Johnson & Wales branch down there. And Pete is a chef. Pete's a chef by trade. Back in the day, they used to call them mess specialists, but they changed the name to culinary specialists. And Pete was advancing his career, his education at Johnson & Wales. They had a satellite branch. And he had completed class one day, and he always went home the same way. I mean, that's life. We're sort of creatures of habit. But he decided to go a different way and sort of, I say, took a wrong turn. And he saw the sign for the Hampton Pro-Am down in that way, Hampton Roads Pro-Am. And he said, what's this? And it was at a high school, Lake Taylor High School it was at the time. So he took that wrong turn, and then he parked his car. And like all of us, you know, when you're going somewhere, you don't expect anything to be free. You got to pay for it. And Pete, as he was going to the door, he reached in his pocket, getting ready to pull out some money, and the gentleman at the door said, "No, this is free." So Pete was surprised when that happened. But when he got in there, he was just astonished by the electric environment that was there, the excitement of the fans, the gym itself, and then the players. And that day, he was treated to one of the best basketball players to ever play the game. Allen Iverson dropped 71 points.
Woo!
So he was hooked. He was hooked. He was hooked. Yeah, he was cooking players that day, and he was hooked. And so he said, "Okay, how can I bring this to Hartford?" And everything from there on was his effort to bring the Pro-Am to Hartford, and he did it. And doing it for 25 years, think about it. There's been trials and tribulations in doing it. You know, financial resources are always a challenge in terms of getting sponsors and things of that nature. But Pete is a type of person that never gives up, and no challenge is too big for him. And he was able to put it together. And I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for Pete's hard work. And actually, I should also say for his wife's hard work, because you can't do this without the family support. And, you know, Pete's had to reach in his pockets over the years to make sure to make ends meet. There's a saying that success has many fathers, but failure is an orphan. And, you know, everyone wants to be around it when things are going well. But, you know, Pete found a way and continues to find a way. And that's the story of how Pete founded the Pro-Am over 25 years ago.
Man, what a nice story, bro. The guy went in and he sees the legendary Allen Iverson drop 71 points. You absolutely cannot make that up, man. What an experience that must have been. And think of the impact that had on him, Anthony. That it compelled him to do his own thing up here, and it's been wonderful, man. And we're so grateful to have Pete and you and other young men and women like you that are doing wonderful things in the community.
Yeah, no, it's great to give back. You know, we live in a world where, you know, it's a material world where everyone's concerned with money, and obviously you need money to make a living. But I think when you think about, you know, what you want your life to be, what you want it to be about, how you want to be remembered, I think money is sort of a small thing. You know, you want to look at the experiences that you've had, how you've connected with people, how you've built community, how you've sustained community. And that's what the Greater Hartford Pro-Am is about. It's about community. It certainly is about great talent. But we're really here to give back to the community, to put on a great show the nights that we do have games, and give back to the community in any way we can, just like this show is. This is, in the age of consolidated media, having, a program that's giving local news. Many of these programs have gone away like dinosaurs, and I'm glad that this program is here to spread the word and keep, informing the community of the wonderful things that are happening here in Hartford, as well as in the Greater Hartford region overall.
Absolutely, and Stan has been doing this show for over 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's
we need to thank him for that. I mean, think
absolutely.
about 40 years. I mean, that in itself is phenomenal. I mean, just to do anything for a couple of days is hard, but to do it for decades, we need to give him an award for everything that he's given back.
For fidelity.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, so are the Pro-Am games played during the week or on the weekend, Anthony?
Yeah, so we'll have some games in the weekends. Sundays, Mondays, and Wednesdays will be the games. So the Mondays and Wednesdays, people have a chance to drop in, and then obviously on Sundays, people will be able to come in, in a more, I guess for some people, a little more relaxed atmosphere, in the sense that, most people work during the week. So that Sunday, you can just sit back and watch great games and not have to worry about having work that day or any of those things like that. So yeah, 3 days a week.
All right, man. What is wonderful to hear that the Pro-Am is going to have some, a home now and sustainability, man. So it's great to have you. Thank you for coming in, man. And we really look forward to having Pete in so he can share some of his experiences with us, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about Pete. Pete, as a founder, Pete has a gazillion stories that he can tell, probably better than I can do it. Just being around all the different players. Actually, I remember when I wrote the story about him last year, he was on the mic one day. I believe they were in Hartford playing, and a famous coach that recently retired came into the gym, and someone mentioned to him, said, "Hey, Pete, Coach K is here." He's like, "What?" He thought it was, someone in the local area. K, okay, whatever. And then he looks over and he saw Mike Krzyzewski, the legendary Hall of Fame coach at Duke, was in the building. So just, players like, coaches, Mike Krzyzewski in the building, and some of the other great, players that have come through, the Ryan Gomeses, the Marcus Cambys, the Ray Allens. There's just a long legacy that has been established for this, and we want to keep it going with some of the future great players that we have and that are developing, and some guys that are playing overseas right now.
Absolutely outstanding. And just before I forget, Anthony, I want to mention that a former UConn alum and a Hartford Pro-Am alum, Kevin Ollie, just got an assistant coaching job at the pro level. So I'm very happy for him. He's been an incredible guy, and you talk about someone who has, worked hard. And I think that, people like Kevin Ollie and Pete, man, they have shown us, what it is to sacrifice and work hard to really get to where you want to be, man. So shout out to those brothers, and to you, Anthony. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. Yeah. I think that's really what it's all about. It's never giving up. I mean, we live in a world where it's easy for someone to say, you can't do that. You won't do that. And many times that can get into your head and put you down and say, okay, well, I'm not going to try. But, mentioning, Pete Higgins, he had an idea. He didn't give up. If you look at Kevin Ollie's career, phenomenal career. I believe he grew up in the Compton, in the greater Los Angeles area, Compton. I mean, that's a rough neighborhood that he grew up in. And for him to make it to UConn, and then to be a journeyman for a number of years where, he had
10-day contracts, man. I remember a season of 10-day contracts, brother, but he did it, man.
Yeah, he did it. And then to come back to coach the University of Connecticut, And to win a national championship, think about it. How many coaches actually win a national championship? Not many.
And he
you
won
know,
a
and then obviously he
won a
went through some
championship as a
challenges and
player,
back-
brother.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
he is a true UConn legacy, man, and a true Hartford Pro-Am legacy. Yes.
Oh yeah. Just to win a championship at any level is phenomenal. I don't care if it's 8th grade or high school, college. He won a championship, and it's great to see that he's getting an opportunity to coach at the pro level. I remember, hearing of rumors a while ago that there were, years ago that he might have had an opportunity to coach at the pro level, but went to UConn. So, kudos for him for never giving up on his dream and to keep working. This is what it's all about.
Absolutely. And Stan, what's the chance of us going over there and filming one of these games, man?
It's we could maybe
Possibility?
It's a possibility.
Would there be a problem with that, Anthony? With Stan coming over and filming one of those games and then putting it on public access?
Yeah, I'll have to check with Pete in terms of making sure that we're in compliance with the NCAA. And
Yeah,
things of that
absolutely.
nature. But
Absolutely.
yeah, we'll reach out to you to see if we can do it. I know just getting highlights is not an issue. I know that a number of the local stations have come over and run stories about the program, especially as it got towards the playoffs. So yeah, we'll check back in with you on that regarding recording the whole game, and we'll let you know.
And it'd be nice to put it on public access, Anthony. So the community can watch, and also to promote it. You know what I'm saying? So more people can see.
Yeah.
We could.
I actually have a question for Stan. I'm always interested in people who hone their craft and who are good at their craft. What has kept you going, Stan, for over 4 decades? I'm curious about that because I might be able to incorporate that into what I'm doing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I love giving people an opportunity to speak because I like to hear opposing points of view, and I'm a free speech absolutist, and so I can't believe that I have a right to run my mouth but not extend that right to someone else. So I'm always willing to give other people a voice, and so I believe that we have a better community when people have an opportunity to express themselves. So I've always gone out of my way to make sure that people have a voice, and I love the medium, and I do freelance, and so in between clients, what do you do? Sit around, sleep. So I have all this equipment. I may as well use it, and so that's what I do, and it's very, very satisfying. And if it's something you really love, then you're always looking for an opportunity to express it. So,
And it's not work.
It's absolutely not work. This is my basketball.
You see that, Anthony?
This is my basketball. I get up in the morning and I come down and I do this. And
this is your layup line and your foul shots and everything.
Yeah. I'm a blessed individual that I have all of this stuff in my house, so I don't have to go far to get here.
And this all came about because of the pandemic, bringing it home like this.
Well, I've had a studio at home for a long time. Doing this particular show came about because of the pandemic. But I've always had a home studio, but I started broadcasting out of the home in 2007. So I've been doing it a long time. But I've been doing this
for your service. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
What you've done.
Did you get what he said to you, Anthony? What's his secret? Did you get his secret?
Well, for me, what I took from it is just the love of what he does.
And it's not work. He doesn't consider it work. See, everybody that looks at Stan thinks he's working. Stan is playing right now. He's in the sandbox.
I am
literally.
I am literally in the sandbox. Now, when I'm working, then I'm working.
Right. When
but
you're
most
out,
people don't get a chance to see me at work because I'm out with my clients.
Right. Behind the camera.
I'm behind the camera, and then I'm focused. Then it's work.
Yeah.
Because it's like basketball. you can't miss. Like I put the graphic up
Right.
for the host, for the
Right.
guest on you.
Right.
That's a miss.
Yeah, but it didn't go on. It was before it went on.
No. During the program, you may not have seen it, but I did.
Oh, okay.
And that's unacceptable when you have a client. Client don't want to hear how you done missing. So,
Right.
So it's this is also practice. So I get to practice. I play. I have fun. It's a lot of fun. Make what you do what you love, and you'll never have to work a day in your life.
That's what's up. That's beautiful, Stan.
Yeah,
I like that, man.
Absolutely.
Well, Anthony, thank you for coming on. Thank you to Pete. You know, we're grateful for you guys. Keep up, you know, with the great work that you all are doing, and hopefully you all expand. Now, before you leave, tell us a little bit about the work that you all are doing with children, because if I remember correctly, there's also a pro-am for kids.
Yeah. Well, the main thing that we do every year for the community, we have a community day. And so that day is an opportunity for families and everyone to come. Generally, we'll have some kind of entertainment for kids and so on. I know that our title sponsor, Hartford Healthcare, is going to put out some information regarding health. So that's going to be a great day. So Community Day is a great opportunity for families to come out, and there's food and entertainment, and we're working on a local radio station potentially sponsoring that and broadcasting, having some remote broadcasts. But when you think about the Pro-Am, Community Day is actually every time we have a game, because it's free and families do come. And I sort of call it the circle of life, because you look at these young kids that are 8 or 9 or 10 or whatever it is, they're in awe of watching these players. And at some point they grow up and they become the players. I remember when we had the press conference, Ragland Jr., he looked back at Ryan Gomes, who was at the press conference, and he said, I remember watching you play and getting your autograph. And now, Ragland Jr., who is a rising junior at Cornell, an Ivy League school, he's actually playing in the Pro-Am. So it just, everything comes back full circle, and every day is Community Day with the Pro-Am, and that's the way Higgins, our founder, treats the Pro-Am.
Terrific. Well, thank you again, brother, and good luck with the season, man.
All right. Well, I want to make sure you and Stan show up, so definitely come down, and we want to see your faces at the Pro-Am.
Oh, we're going to come by for at least a couple games, man. But
Absolutely.
Thank you again, brother.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me.
And don't forget to get back to us about the filming, because I think that's just another avenue for you all to promote your.
Yeah, I think. I think we could probably do like a story.
Okay.
Yeah,
like that'd be great,
like
man.
a news piece. Come down and do a couple interviews
and interview a couple players and stuff.
I get that approved by the wife. So
okay.
Because she's
boss.
my boss. Yeah, she's like my super boss, because she's not only my wife now, but she's also the campaign manager. So
boy.
So I have to fight with her every time I take a camera out, because she's trying to get me from behind the camera. That's the
she
deal.
wants you to focus on the campaign.
Right. And I mean,
Okay.
so
Stan is running for mayor in Hartford, Anthony.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I mean, I think as someone who really believes in free speech, I mean, that's part of the democratic process, to be able to run for public office and to serve. I mean, you've already been serving for over 40 years or so, so it's not a stretch for you to be in the mayor's seat and understanding community and all the challenges that we have. So, I wish you luck in getting to that mayor's office, because I know that you'll do great things for the community, because you have been doing great things for the community. So I wish you luck in. You got a great campaign manager with your wife by your side.
Oh yeah,
Can't lose.
Can't lose with that. With her by my side, and
can't lose, won't lose.
Can't lose, won't lose, and then we got good people around us like Kasiki over there, so we'll do okay. But thanks for taking time out of your schedule, joining us, and we will absolutely see you down there. During these games, I can't wait.
That's what I'm
Thanks
talking
a lot.
about.
The best basketball in Connecticut during the summer. Greater Hartford Pro-Am. Thanks a lot.
All right, Anthony. Thank you, brother. Have a wonderful day, man.
Thank you. You too.
Peace.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.
Great.
Hey, Stan, man, I'm telling you, I've been to a lot of Pro-Am games, and the atmosphere is, he said electric. It is absolutely electric. Water wall fans. Everybody's trying to, and these, the Hartford Legends have always, man, stood out. People like Charles the Beast Easterling, Stevie Johnson's kids, Mooka and Dud, so many, man, so many young men that have played in that league that have been outstanding, man. It's unbelievable. I'm so happy that they finally have a place where they can, hopefully call home for a long time. They do good work. I would like for them to do a little bit more in terms of community with children, because the program is for college and for adults. So I would like for them to have a little something for children. And but other than that, man, this is a great program, and I salute Pete and all of the people that are involved in the program for keeping that program alive and well, and really creating a safe space for our young men to really exhibit their wonderful talents and skills.
All right. Stick and stay. My friends, don't go anywhere. We will be right back. It's Morning Talk.
Every bad political decision is made by a politician elected to office. So if you think your vote doesn't matter, just remember this. There are people sitting with politicians in a back room making deals about your future, making policies about your children, making decisions about your neighborhood. To them, you are just a vote. You are not their cause. You are just a vote. Elections have consequences, and if you don't vote, you are actually voting to keep these people in power to work against you. Now more than ever, you need to make your vote count. It's time to clear the air and vote for a mayor that is unbought, unbossed, trusted, and accountable to you, the constituent. My name is J. McCauley, and I am an independent thinker, and I approve this message. I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, September the 12th, 2023, in the Democratic Party primary election for mayor of the city of Hartford. For more information, visit McCauleyformayor.com. Have the courage to vote your conscience and vote for the name you trust and know. Vote J. Stan McCauley for mayor.
Hi,
My name's J. Stan McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
There we go. The incomparable Jay Hogarth. Ooh, sit back, listen a little of this. Jay Hogarth. Raising your spirit consciousness. Listen to a little of this. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Man, he's making them keys sing, brother.
Give me goosebumps.
Yeah, man. Unbelievable, bro. You know, Stan, the funny thing about music, brother, is that I feel it in my body, in my blood, in my bones, in my skin. I don't know how to play an instrument. I don't even know where to start. But music is a completely daily part of my life.
Oh yeah.
You know?
It used to be bad. Well, it's still bad. I call it ear candy. And when I was at the TV station, I couldn't play jazz.
What?
Because if I would play it for like 10 minutes, it was a wrap. We used that as a day, a staff bonding day. Go get some movies and grinders, and the whole day was gone. Because the music sets that tone.
Right.
You'd be like,
just chilling hard.
Chill. This is a chill day, everybody.
Yeah.
So
Stan, I want to tell our family, man, our audience, our viewers, our listeners, about a little incident that I had yesterday at Walmart. And I would like our listeners and our viewers to call in or to comment on their experiences at Walmart. So yesterday I went to Walmart to buy a couple items. I ended up picking up 4 items.
Flatbush?
On Flatbush Avenue. So I go to the cash register, and there's about 12 to 15 people in one line. Because I pay. I don't do the automated because those are our jobs. It's usually black and brown people's jobs that they're taking with the automation. But for some reason, they don't understand that. They got 2 automation lines open with, I think, 6 to 8 or more automated things that you can cash out on. I don't use those.
Yes.
So I walk over to the customer service line. There's 4 Spanish-speaking women there, and a black woman next to them. And so I say, "May I pay for these items here?" And one of them looks at me in a very brusque and almost in a very dismissive tone and says, "Take her to the cash register." So I said, "That's terrible customer service." And I walked out. I put my items on the thing and I walked out. So is that what we come to, family? That we have to accept this type of treatment from Walmart? They don't have enough cash registers open. That means that our people are losing their jobs. And then our people that work there, our black and brown people that work there, internalize all this racism and white privilege and spit it out back at us like it's a good thing. We have to do much better than that. So if anybody has had a negative or positive experience at Walmart, please let us know so we can talk. Because I think that we have to teach Walmart a lesson. Well, and by boycotting Walmart for a couple days, I think it sends them a message that we want our people working, not automated cash registers.
Well, I think that well, for me, you touched upon a couple of things. Now I'm a big fan of calling the manager, only because as someone who has been in the management and leadership position, like restaurant owners, if you don't, and it's not. Well, it is complaining. A lot of people don't necessarily, I know you're not one of them, but a lot of people don't want to complain. If you don't tell the manager won't, they don't know. That's all I'm saying. It's like she gets away with it because no one reports her. Yeah. And so I think it is fair to bring an action of discontent, picket, express yourself any way you want when a store doesn't treat you right, or entity or agency doesn't treat you in the way you think you should be treated. But I think that the leadership needs to know, and then after that, then it's no holds barred. But yeah, like you go to, it's bad the way sometimes, I won't say all the time, but lots of times, here you are, quote unquote, black and brown. You go into the supermarket or into the fast food restaurant, and you treated worse there than you would be if you were in Avon.
That's right. By our own people.
Right. Fries be all cold and stuff like that.
We have to stop that. We have to do better. I keep telling black and brown people when I see them out there and they walk by me like they hard or something, I say, hey, when you see a brother, greet a brother.
There you go.
When you see a sister, greet a sister. Stop that nonsense, man. We have to learn to love each other. We are experts now. And I think when you are an expert at something, you're good. It's enough, right? So we are experts now at hating each other. So we're good. We don't have to do that anymore. Now we have to become experts, Stan, at loving each other.
I will
at
agree.
Being considerate. You know what I'm saying? Of being grateful for each other, for the skills and the things that we bring to the table. So we have to learn that. Now, I'm disappointed in the woman that said that and the other women that just were almost laying on the counter, Stan. They weren't doing nothing. It wasn't a line. I was the only person there. So I'm disappointed in them. But I'm more disappointed, and I will tell the manager, but here's the thing. They know what they're doing. Not in terms of the way that the woman responded. I'm more upset that we as a community have accepted all this automation that leads to the job loss in our community. That means that if our people are making money, we're not generating income in our community. What are we spending?
Well,
So it is a lot more than just the machines. There's a lot of things that happen behind those machines that people aren't taking into account.
This is a great off ramp. I was at Target. I actually went out looking for a suit. I went to the Men's Warehouse over there in over by Buckland Hills.
Yep.
I was really disappointed because I can remember when it was at the other place. It was like 4 or 5 times the size. Now it's a little tiny place, and so I left. I had nothing in there that I thought was even remotely what I wanted. So then I was looking for a white shirt. I didn't have the white shirt I wanted. So then I would at least get a belt. So I went over to Target. Right, I'm looking for a belt. All I had was belts that for jeans. You could tell I don't go out to the store much, right? So, but I'm walking around Target, and I don't know what it just fell on me. I felt like I was a regional manager, just walking around looking at. I'm looking at stuff like this. I can't go because I start looking at stuff. Right, I'm like, okay, the shelves aren't pointed right, and the floor's not clean, But this Target was looking pretty nice. Now I shop at Walmart on Flatbush.
Yes,
I'm in there every week.
Do you bring your gun?
No, I could bring my. You have some double lot shot. We're gonna do some hunting.
Got your flag vest on?
No, I go over there every week. I like going to Walmart's, and my favorite place to go, believe it or not, is Ocean State. I haven't been to all of them, but I make it a point to stop at every Ocean State whenever I go past
They have a lot of
one.
fun stuff.
I love going in there.
All those stores have fun stuff.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I can remember when Walmart had the ice cream. You go to get the ice cream, you can't even get it off the shelf because it's so overfrost.
Yeah.
They finally took care of that. It's my thinking that Walmart has had they can't keep managers. It seems like the store is unmanaged because there's times when you go in there and everything is like spot on. Like all the cans are facing.
Inspection day.
That must be it. And all the cans are facing in the right direction. The snacks are all stacked up right. Clothes are all. And I don't know what it is because I don't care how busy the store is. I don't care how many people come in the store. I don't care if the customer base is sloppy. The store has the capacity to tidy up during the course of the day. The store should always look like.
Yeah.
And that's a management issue.
Yeah.
Walmart on Flatbush has a management problem.
Yes.
Now, I have heard that Walmart was having a very, very big problem with store managers, like just getting them.
Yes.
And attracting, maintaining them.
There's a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of people in that store.
Well,
and they're full stand from the moment Walmart opens in the morning until they're closed. That parking lot is full.
But that doesn't all the more reason why the store should be run right. Now, if I think it's a catch-22. We got to do a better job of preparing young people for customer service and just that whole loving one another. I think goes a long way. I think this is where it starts, loving each other. Mm-hmm. Because if you can't get the customer service mentality right and how people in your store interface with the customer, those machines look like a good option. Just take them out because there's Walmarts now where all you do is just put your stuff in the basket and leave.
Yeah, they charge you out the door.
And it just automatically.
Yeah.
And the only way to push back on that is to have excellent customer service where people don't they want the experience of interfacing with the customer service. The best place I ever went to, but I kid you not, the best customer service experience I've ever had was at the Connecticut State Department of Revenue Services. When I went down there to handle my taxes,
Yes.
I was blown away. I was so blown away when I went home. I called to talk to the department head. You know the guy. It just escapes my mind right now. He'll kill me if he knew I couldn't remember his name. He's a community leader. He retired and went over. He retired and moved out of the city. But come to find out that he was the one responsible for doing the training on that customer service over there. But I mean, they made you feel. Imagine having customer service so good that you want to actually go back and give them a tip for paying your taxes.
That's beautiful.
That's how good the customer service was.
But that's how it should be, Stan.
And that's how it should be.
In all these government agencies, man. But, you know, when you go into City Hall, sometimes when you go to pay your taxes or something, the people, first of all, they could be a line and they got one people and everybody else is sitting in the back. And then they act like they mad that you're there.
It's the whole opposite at City Hall.
Yeah, what is that, man? That's crazy, man.
Like you doing them, like you're doing some, like you're interfering with the course of their day.
Yes. Well, you know, Stan, once again, I'm going to ask all of our viewers and our listeners to share their experiences at Walmart with us. And maybe we can do a little something over there, you know, a little protest or something, just to let them know that we're watching.
Yeah. Because
I'm really concerned about the automation. People need to look at that. You know, it's black and brown in the cities. In the cities across the country, the majority of people are black and brown people. So when Walmarts in the city start using all of automation, or any other store, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are lost jobs for black and brown people. Please remember that.
This is another good reason why your mom and pop and local stores are so helpful and so needful, because they're not going to put those things in.
No.
They're not going to install those.
And generally speaking, they have decent customer service.
Yeah.
You know, when you have a corner store, you develop a relationship with them.
Yeah.
You know, you get along pretty good. And sometimes they even bring in the stuff that they normally don't have if you ask them for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can you bring this and I'll buy it from you regularly? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they work with us on that. So yes.
Brother Rick, brother Torres went to Lowe's yesterday. He says no live cashiers.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Think about what I'm saying, folks. In the cities across America, 90%, many times, 90% of the population is black and brown people.
It's coming.
So that's you know, those are jobs that we lose. And if our people aren't earning, if they're not generating income, what is sustaining our community?
Do you know, still in New Jersey, you can't pump your own gas? Still. You go to New Jersey?
Yeah.
They pump the gas for you.
Why?
That's a job.
Oh.
Think about it.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
Across the country, but you know, those are jobs.
Yeah.
Pumping the gas.
Yeah.
Pull up, they pump the gas. So, think of the tens of thousands of young people who no longer have those summer jobs.
Right. And working at Stop and Shop, Walmart, all these other stores. Yes.
So instead of getting real-time online training, they need a program. And I have nothing against programs. But a program is not the same as a job when you're a young person, because you only need to lose the job one time as a young person. At least I know that worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I could get it together. But I've done the summer program stuff, and I've had young people tell me straight out, They didn't care.
Wow.
You know, you got to pay me whether I do anything or not.
Yeah.
But you know, and it's not pay; it's a stipend.
Yeah.
You know, all that.
Yeah.
You know.
But that has a lot to do with the way that, you know, a lot of young people are socialized now. You know, I mean, it's just different, Stan. I think that, and it's, I don't know if it's bad. I don't want to call it bad or good or indifferent. I'm saying that it's different. The way that they're socialized, kids don't go outside now. You know, I remember when I grew up, I lived in Charter Oak. We used to be outside all day. You know, we used to go to Highland Park, walk around the project, and not get in trouble, and be expected to behave and to be back at a certain time. And then we had, you know, if we wanted to eat, we come home and eat and go back out. Kids don't know what that is now. They don't know what it is to go on the hike. They don't know what it is to walk a distance. You know, my mother used to play baseball with us in between the buildings in Charter Oak. We set up the bases. And then on the far end, there was the private houses, the private residences. And when we started getting a little older, we had to stop playing because we hit the ball and started breaking the windows in the neighbors. Yeah. So, you know, we did things, you know, and it was community. We did things like that. You know what I'm saying? Kids don't know what that is.
That's unfortunate. It is true. Kids, though, now they stay home. I remember when being in home was punishment.
Yeah, but
like you couldn't go out.
Exactly. That was the worst.
Bobby, you coming out?
No, it's the opposite.
I can't come out because my mom, you know, got back raised or I said something, so I got to stay in. I'm grounded for the week.
Yeah, and now it's the opposite though. Now you tell the kids we're going for a walk, and that's punishment, man.
Absolutely.
And it's sad, but it has, you know, it has a lot of things, and this is all by design, Stan, because it has a lot of things. Another thing that I notice about young children today, and a lot of young people, 20, 30, 40, they don't have any respect for elders, for older people. They don't, they're not grateful, they're not thankful for the sacrifices, the blood, sweat, and tears that these people have shed for you to be here. They didn't do that for you to be this, this terrible individual. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
they don't honor them. They don't do anything, and it's very sad because part of that, Stan, is the fact that they don't go outside. When your life experience is on your phone and inside, you don't know what it is to be outside, engaging with people and understanding the different roles that different members of the community play. You know what I'm saying? When I walk, and I'm 63 now, Stan, anywhere, I'm a cacique, you know what I'm saying? Anywhere that I go, I walk in like a king. That's it. And if I'm not treated with respect, I'm leaving. I don't care who it is. You know, I'm not playing that game. You know, because we have to set the standard for our young people. So if you want to engage with me at any level, it has to be done respectfully. You know, we have to teach that, and we have to demand that from our children. So, you know, we have a lot of things to work on as a community. And I'm talking about the Hartford community.
Right. Well, this is where we live.
Exactly.
Right.
You know,
So
we have to teach these things.
We need, to me, community development. And that's what, when I talk about community development, that's what I'm talking about. We have to develop and invest in our community, in human potential, in human capital.
Yeah, when you use the term community development, right away people think that you're talking about building something and money. No, I understand. I'm glad that you defined that, because that's what I've been saying, Stan, all the time that I've been on this show. I keep talking about how we've been socialized to speak a language of slavery, servitude, and death. And we have to learn to define our own life and speak a language that speaks life, that builds, that is a uplifting. And when you do that, when we give our own definition to words, that's what we do. We create a language that speaks life. And you just did that right now. That was a great example.
Well, you were talking about the young people and their well, it's not seemingly, it is the disrespect for seniors and the elders, and attitude of ungratefulness. A lot of that, I think, also has the contributing to that is the me society. Everything is focused on self, me, YouTube, MySpace. Everything is focusing on me, and a lot of young people it's totally foreign to them that the things they have are because someone older than them made a sacrifice for them to have. They think they've actually earned everything on their own. You know, you have young people who will get out of high school and they'll expect to become rich by the end of the year. Or, you know, they're just going to become a superstar. Or why can't I be, why can't I be an NBA basketball star? Well, you can, but you got to put the time in. You got to practice. What do you do at night? Sleep? No. No. You're out on the court. You practice. It's personal sacrifice seems to be something that is foreign to a lot of young people nowadays because so much has been given to them. And that's not necessarily their fault. I think somewhere along the line, our group has overly spoiled a lot of kids because we pick them up, we take them places. They don't have to get on the bus. They don't have to travel nowhere. I remember when I went to school, and this is not one of those I remember when shows, but just to make some comparisons. I had latchkey, right? Came home from school.
Yeah,
the
before
the door.
School and after school program.
Right. The before school and after school program was home.
Right.
I didn't go to the program. I was at home.
Right.
Went to school, came home for lunch.
Right.
And went back to school.
Right. On
time. It better not be late. And took the bus, the subway, and the trolley.
As a young man.
As a
child.
5th grade.
10 years old.
5th grade. You got on the train, nowadays, you know, you can't correct nobody's kids. The kids can't get on the bus. They can't get on the train. They're so overprotected that they've been isolated into these like little bubbles. Like you wrap them up in bubble wrap, and they can't experience anything. They don't experience the things that are necessary to cause you to grow. And even in competition, there's no losing. I mean, you know, it's you don't want to crush someone, but if you don't have the experience of winning, then you won't want to win.
Well, brother, here's the thing, man, and we talk about this on the show all the time, and I think it goes over many people's heads. But you know, all this me stuff, right? And it comes from what's called the rugged American individualism. It's the me. And that's a white concept, just like the white business model, right? And so I told the story, and I'm going to tell it again. This very wealthy white man went to Africa, and he had a contest in a village. He offered a small fortune to the winner. This young man won, and he was happier that he was going to be able to share his bounty with his village than that he won. Winning didn't really matter to him. It wasn't like, you know. And so the white man got really mad, and he says, hey, what are you doing? You don't have to give anything to anyone. This is all for you. It's all yours. You don't have to share. The guy was really visibly upset and raged. And the young man just looked at him and said, we don't know what that is. And see, that's what we have to teach our children here, brother, that the rugged individualism, the rugged American individualism, the white business model, those things are toxic. Here's how the white business model works. You have, a company that is selling an item, right? So now they want you, the consumer, to pay for the item, to build the item. We have to pay for that. And then what they do is they sell it back to us. How does that work? That's called stealing. In my world, that's called stealing. Because how am I going to pay you for something, and then when you get it done, you want to sell it back to me? So what I'm saying is, if these companies, and then they don't pay no taxes, these companies are making $500 million of profit, okay? And then they want to, Exxon or Mobil, they want to open up another drill somewhere. We have to pay for that. The consumer, they won't use their profit to reinvest. We have to pay for that, and I don't think that's right. You know what I'm saying? And this rugged individualism is not indigenous and it's not Afrocentric. And I keep saying that we have to take that back. Let's build programs that are indigenous and Afrocentric without any European influence. What does that look like? It looks like the stuff that you're talking about, Stan. It looks like community development on the human side, right? In connection with making sure that everything is done for the benefit of the planet, because anything that's good for the planet is good for us. And anything that's good for us is good for the planet, as long as it's natural. We have to bring it back to that. So, we have to really think about that and start, I worked in the streets for many years working with some of the toughest kids. Some of these kids were killers. And I would step right up to them and demand that they do better for themselves. And now many of them are men, and they see me and they honor me. They say good things about me because they say I turned it around because of you. So we have to do that. Black and brown men and women cannot be scared of our children. We have to demand more from them and demand more for ourselves. And I'm saying all of this to say that now we are in the political season. We have an opportunity to elect a mayor who's going to represent us in a way that no one has done before him. Stan McCauley is running for mayor. I am cacique. I am urging our community to give this man all the consideration that he deserves for all the good things that he has done. And let's put him in the office for mayor. And that is my message for the community today, that we can do better, and let's start doing better by electing Stan McCauley for mayor. That's how the city of Hartford does better.
I have no argument with that. I think that sounds brilliantly phrased. Brilliantly phrased.
Thank you, Stan. I appreciate that, and I mean every word, man. Is an opportunity for us. We talked about the Great Awakening, and we're talking about the Great Judgment. And the Great Awakening is electing Stan for mayor, and the Great Judgment is getting rid of all these people. Now, I hear that Jason Thody's been looking for work.
He should be.
He's a smart man. See, I told y'all, he's looking for work. He knows when Stan comes in, he's getting his walking papers. Now, I just want to say...
It's not personal.
No, of course not. Of course not. But here's the thing. I just want to mention this, man. And I think I mentioned this. I was having this conversation with somebody. But the problem that we have with education, and I don't understand, Stan, why people who are in education don't understand that they are really supporting white supremacy and racism with the current education system as it is. Let's stop talking about that, and let's start talking about what are we going to do about it, and then put that plan into action. Because the way it is now, we are creating workers for other people. All our kids can do right now is follow directions. They're not building anything. They took home economics out. They took the basic, carpentry and the what they used to call the shop.
Industrial arts.
Industrial arts. They took that out. They took a lot of wonderful things. They gave our children an opportunity to be creative, to use their hands, to use their minds. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that.
They don't want that.
All they do now is follow directions.
Right.
Stop supporting white supremacy and racism and demand more.
Well, it's hard for people to disconnect their head from things, and people have been indoctrinated. So, the education industrial complex, we have all these industries, and the industries become self-serving and self-replicating. And so it's been my observation that many times what people want is a different driver on the bus.
Okay.
They don't change the route, just a different driver. When are we going to get one of our drivers to drive the bus? What difference does it make? The bus is going to the same dead end. We want to go in a whole nother direction. Stop driving the bus. You get on the bus, you drive the bus, and then you drive the bus the exact same route. And on that route, there's nothing. There's nothing to look out the windows and see. When the bus stops, there's no store. There's nothing of value on the route. And so we clamor to get different people to drive the bus, as opposed to, well, you know what? Let's build our own transportation system that takes us where we want to go. And I think a lot of times people get into these things like education, or they get into government, or they get into whatever the industry is, even nonprofits, and they continue the bad habits and bad ways that were there when they came in. And they're unaware, I think, that they've been groomed and positioned to just take the baton and keep running the same race. Mm-hmm. You know, break off the track. You know, there's more to life than running around that circle.
Run around that circle, yes.
And they run around the circle over and over again and over again. There's a whole world outside the stadium.
Yes.
And so I think that that's more of the problem. Because I'll never forget a conversation. I had this conversation with the president of CCSU. We're at a fundraiser for a particular entity, for
Zuma Toro. Zuma.
I'm pretty sure it was her. It was in the last 8 years.
Yeah, I think it's Zuma Toro. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and because it was a female.
Yep.
So I you're president of college. You should be able to answer this question. I asked her, why does it take so long? Why does it take so long to bring about change in the school system? She said, all change takes 7 years. First of all, it wasn't like even debatable. She said, all change takes 7 years because you got to go through this, you got to go through. And to me, I don't understand why it takes 7 years. It takes 7 years because that's the best practice that someone established in order to maintain a semblance of the status quo. But if you want to change something,
you could do it almost immediately.
These are the new rules.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is this, Stan, about Zuma Toro. If change takes 7 years, then why, after harassing Chris Dukes for more than 7 years, why hasn't there been change in that administration at Central? Why aren't the people that they know that have committed crimes there still at Central? You know what I'm saying? So
want to maintain a semblance of the status quo. They don't want change.
Well, here's the thing. To Zuma Toro and others like her, the only thing that you're doing, sister, is protecting the crimes that white people commit against us. That's what you're doing. Okay? So that nonsense about 7 years, ain't nobody buying that but you. Because you're the only one that knows about that theory. Because Stan didn't know about that before that, and I don't know about it now. That's nonsense.
It is.
Yeah, she's making some nonsense up so she can continue to protect the crimes that are being committed over there. Get your stuff together, sister, because you work hard to get there, and now your legacy, by the time they get through with you, it's not going to be good. So get your stuff together.
And I think you said something that's rather profound. And, I don't think that people understand fully or realize, particularly people who, folk that are black and brown, folk that are in positions of, potential change. If you carry on with the okie doke, eventually you're going to become the scapegoat. And you're going to go down anyway.
Absolutely.
So why not stand for something?
Yeah.
And, make a difference. But they carry they carry the water only to be used as an example down the road. There's no reward for compromising like that. So I guess that's what I'm really trying to say. There's no reward. So one way or the other, all the stuff that's going on over there, it's going to come on her shoulders.
It's coming. And it's coming to light. That's what I mean by
why
that,
why not take the bullet for fixing it?
Yeah.
As opposed to.
And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. It's better, like when I was in New Britain, and I talk about this a lot. Mm-hmm. When I was in New Britain, I tried to have a conversation in private with the superintendent, and she refused. She talked to me like I was a child. You know what I'm saying? I remember, and I said this, the first meeting I went with her was a community meeting. And there was about 12 to 15 people in the meeting. Mm-hmm. And she, at the end of the meeting, she raved about her meeting. Oh, it was great. Blah, blah, blah. And she looked at me and she said, Luis, what do you think about my community meeting? And she was all pumped up. And I said, I got to be honest with you, Nancy. These type of meetings terrify me because everybody in this room spoke about the community, but there isn't one member of the community here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and she was flabbergasted. She was taken aback, and she was, visibly upset about my comments. You know what I'm saying? But it's the truth. You know what I mean? So is the same thing that we have, and I want to speak about this. Mm-hmm. The same thing that we have with the police department, we have in any bureaucratic office or system. Mm-hmm. And that is a police officer in Hartford will be charged with assault, let's say, whatever, and they can't hide it. They don't want to arrest him. They don't want to fire him. Mm-hmm. He resigns, and all he has to do, Stan, is walk to any town around here and apply, and within weeks he'll be a police officer because he already has the training, he already has a certification, and he'll be back in that new town doing the same dumb stuff that he was doing here, committing crimes, harassing people. And it's the same thing with teachers. You take a bad teacher out of Batchelor School and you put him in Moylan because it's very hard to get rid of a teacher. The unions, see, here's the problem for unions. Unions have been great for this country up to a certain point until they started protecting criminals that they know are criminals because they're members of the union.
Right.
So it's the same thing in any bureaucracy like that. He can be, a teacher can be let go in Hartford, right? And he can walk to another town or another state and get another job. We need to have a system where we don't keep moving. The priests is the best example. Look at what happened with the priests.
With the Catholic Church. Mm-hmm.
The Catholic Church. They move him out of one parish and he goes on to another parish. These people were moved sometimes to, several different parishes where some of these people molested hundreds of children, sometimes maybe even thousands. You know what I'm saying? So we have to have a better system than that. So what I'm saying to people in education, particularly black and brown people, let's start making the necessary changes so our children can be productive learners. And when you are a productive learner, what happens afterwards, Stan, is that you become a productive citizen, okay? Because you're building, you're creating, you're not following directions.
Accountability is what's missing, out of the quote-unquote system. If there's no accountability, if there's no consequence, there's no accountability. And so there's no consequence. If you've done something bad as a part of a bureaucracy, whether it's a rogue union member, rogue cop, rogue doctor, rogue priest, rogue anybody, if they're allowed to just say, okay, we're going to let you resign, all right, and, you just got to leave. So they leave, and now, as you say, they're getting a job somewhere else. But they can't just leave. There has to be a consequence for the action. And we're not saying never be able to work again, but you should be at the very least punished, or I know that's a bad word, but there has to be some corrective action as a result of a consequence. And the consequence of losing your job is not enough. If you violated a rule, and to me, now if I was a union leader and union members brought a bad mark on the union, they would be excommunicated from the union and never be able to get union representation ever again.
Not from that union anyway.
Right.
Here's the thing, though, Stan, with police officers. First of all, when a police officer commits a crime, it's not called that.
Well, it is a crime. If a police officer commits a crime, it should be a crime.
But they don't call it that. They don't call it that because they have their own. They have their own thing. What they do is they'll bring the officer before a panel of officers.
Okay, with an internal tribunal.
Right. And see, the problem with that is that if I do the same thing that an officer does, I'm not going to be brought before a panel of my neighbors or citizens. You know what I'm saying? So that's
jury
the
of your
first
peers.
thing. Right. Well, that's not the same thing. Right. So this is the first thing that we have to stop. They have to be, when an officer does something that is considered a crime by a citizen, then it is also a crime for that officer. That standard is not there. That standard has to be met. You know what I'm saying? And when we meet that standard, then we're going to see a huge drop in officer committed crimes, because they know that their fellow officers are committed to upholding the law against them, just like they do against citizens.
Well, that's going to be quite a change in that's quite a culture shift.
You've seen that, Stan, when the last chief, when he made the presentation, you were filming. I asked some questions about it. They were saying all of that, how they have different committees for different things. It's never brought up as a crime. It's all brought up as a departmental violation or unbecoming an officer. Never a crime. So that's the difference. So
conduct unbecoming.
Yeah, and so we have to do better. We have to do better as educators. We have to do better as the people who are representing the police. And I'm against the police in general, period. I think that we have to eradicate the police as it is, and then figure out how we want to be policed. Not how the police want to police us.
Well, right now, as far as I'm concerned, that is already the system that's in place. I mean, it's our government. They're our police department. They serve at our, they serve the constituents. So if we want better police, then we have to demand better police.
Absolutely.
And put people in place that are they're gonna get those police officers that we need. Stick and stay. We'll be right back. It's Morning Talk. Take a short break, and we'll see you on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, Hartford, Connecticut. I'm talking to you.
Hello, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Tracy Ann Johnson, and if I were mayor for the day, I would pay close attention to the importance and significance of education, wellness, mental health, advocacy, early childhood education, the significance and importance and value of love, ownership, pride in our community. If I were mayor for the day, I would definitely create partnerships between law enforcement, being that I have worked in criminal justice in a variety of capacities for over 16 years. I have experience working as a substance abuse counselor within the prison systems. I have since left that environment, and now I am extremely involved within the Hartford community as a parent leader, as a wellness advocate, as an education advocate. I know firsthand the impacts of childhood trauma, environmental traumas, urban trauma, lack of education within the community, and the significance of empowering our children to know and truly understand who they are and what they have the ability and potential to become. As I have learned as a resident of Hartford and a proud resident and alumni of Hartford Public Schools, education opens up the doors for opportunities, and the reality is that with education, all things are possible. The sky is literally the limit. If I were mayor for the day, I would also create partnerships between our clergy, our church community, and our residents. I would pay close attention to the need for those in law enforcement to do what is known as not only law enforcement, but understanding the community in which they live and or work in if they do not live here. It is also important for the community members to know their values, their worth, and the role that we play together, because there is a saying, we are better together. As a parent of a child that goes to school in Glastonbury through the Hartford Region Open Choice Program, I know firsthand the significance of preparing our children to walk in such communities and also walk within our Hartford community, and the parallel between understanding of all these worlds. So if I were mayor for the day, I would really truly do a assessment on the realities that our children are experiencing, our families are experiencing from the socioeconomic stance, from the health stance, because we have many environmental realities that are also realities within our city in which we must continue to have these necessary conversations around. So if I were mayor, I would promote the cohesiveness, the love, the unity, and the pride in our city. Thank you.
Time to make a difference. Get out and vote. You go and vote. We can change it, yeah.
All right, welcome back. Morning Talk.
Stan, what an incredible show today, man.
Yeah.
I just love having Anthony here today with the Pro-Am. And, that's a wonderful outlet for our community to really get out there and enjoy the talents of our young men. And to also to showcase the organizational skills of Pete and Anthony and others that work there, man. That's an outstanding organization. It's well run. It's like a well-oiled machine, Stan.
Absolutely. I can't wait to go up there and check it out.
And have some games, yeah. Hey, let me know the game that you're going in. I can interview some people.
All right.
That'll be wonderful, man.
All right. Yeah. I think what we'll wind up doing is a couple of, we'll do like Facebook Live.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
I think that's the compromise that I have with the campaign manager.
Okay.
She'll let me do some Facebook Live stuff.
Okay.
She absolutely doesn't want me behind a camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got to be committed, and you got to, it's a lot of work, Stan. You got to have your energy. You got to save a little energy for the campaign, brother.
Well, I got energy. It's just that everybody knows me as the guy behind the camera.
Yeah, and the days are long too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So she wanted to pull me out from behind and put me in front. Leave the camera at home.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So I also want to give a shout out to Mario Lugo and Glenn Malden. They're doing a basketball league over at the Y. A couple days a week. Is going really well. They have great uniforms, great atmosphere, great basketball. And we got to get over there and do a commercial for them, Stan. I think that they would be very grateful for that, man. And also to kind of showcase the wonderful work that Glenn Malden has been doing down there. I think he's been a little overshadowed, and he's kind of kept that place going in terms of the athletics and stuff like that.
Well, when are they active?
I'll get back to you. I think they play Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right.
I'll check with Glenn and with Mario, and I'll let them know that
Evenings,
we plan on
right?
coming down. Yes. I think the games are at either 6 or 7 or 7 and 8. But I'll let you know. I'll text you and let you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So I want to shout them out and all the young people out there, man. Brian Evans. Brian, yes. We're going to have Brian on. Brian is helping our young people get their driver's licenses, and he always helps them with all their graduations. He's a magnificent brother, and we're grateful to have him and others like him. And I just want to make sure that people know that these wonderful young people are out there keeping our community vibrant.
All right.
And also I want to shout out a couple of our elders, Lou Brown and Jerry Tony. They were extraordinary news people. Eugenio Caro, an incredible leader. And, those are my mentors, man. And people like Olga Millie. I don't know if you remember Olga. She was like the first Boricua social worker in Hartford. And she opened many doors for many of us. And, just all these, I honor my ancestors every day, and I'm grateful for all the doors and all the blood, sweat, and tears that they sacrificed. I'm grateful, and I give thanks. Thank you so much. Wonderful show, Stan. I had a really good time today.
Great program, great interview, great things going on over at
the Taino Chess Club.
Taino Chess Club, St. Joseph's. I saw that. I saw there was an article and it was covered on the news. And of course, my only lament is that it's not in Hartford. Yes. However,
yes,
it's as close to Hartford as it could get. But they've been trying to do stuff, and Hartford just wouldn't work with them. I can never understand that.
Yeah. Well, Hartford is a very peculiar town. We've never really done well with sports, and I'm still wondering about the baseball team because I think that was a failed venture too, man.
What, the yard coach?
Yeah.
It may have failed in some ways, but the team and the stadium is overwhelming success.
Is it really?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to hear.
It actually
it's
is.
Good for Hartford.
It's actually one of the. It's been voted the best stadium year after year. The debacle in building it—that's a whole nother subject.
Right. How it came about. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a whole nother subject.
Here's another good example of how we promote chicanery.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Sean Wooden, the architect behind this, and then he gets promoted to what? State treasurer or something. Right. That's what we do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go rob a bank when I leave here, and then tomorrow I might be promoted to governor or something, man.
Well, that's we promote up. We.
I'm telling you, Stan, it's crazy, man. And then we have people. Right. Here's the funny part about education. Like two of the best educators that I ever worked, they got them like in like Siberia. You know how in Russia, when you do something that the government doesn't like, they send you to Siberia, the coldest country? Well, they got Yvonne Francis, an African-American woman. She's an incredible educator, an incredible leader. And Oscar Padua, a magnificent brother. They got them doing things. They had this lady, Julie Goldstein, over at my son's school. This lady was a racist from the beginning. Okay, and she's probably gonna come back and have a job back. There was some money missing. People said it wasn't her. Others say it was her. It was under her watch, so it was her, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, let's stop playing games. And then these people, Yvonne and Oscar and others, they should be heading these schools because they know the community.
They must have done something that disturbed the status quo.
Yeah, they showed up to work and they did what they were supposed to do. They took care of our children. That's why they got them like that.
They sound like they might have been thinking.
Exactly. So here's the thing about them though. Because we talked about this today, right? People like Pete Higgins, people like you, people like Oscar and Yvonne. There's no quit in you. So no matter where you put them, they still shine. No matter what, no matter how much you could put them in a closet, right? And when people come in a room, they're like, what's in that closet? There's something in there. You know what I'm saying? So no matter where you put them, they're going to shine. The next superintendent, please take note of these magnificent educators and put them in leadership positions, heading a high school or heading a middle school or heading an elementary school. Because these are very, very capable people, and they will do extraordinary things in our community for our children and our families.
All right.
Well, it was wonderful. I want to thank everyone who tuned in today, and a special thanks to Anthony Price and to the Pro-Am for coming on the show today. We're grateful to have you, but we're also grateful for all the wonderful things you all are doing. Keep up the good work. Thank you. And peace, family.
All right. Okay, with that, my friends, we're out of time. We'll see you here next time, and y'all go out and have a great rest of your day. Sister Ida says, "Don't go rob a bank. Don't go rob a bank."
No, that was just a figure of speech, man.
She got a big laugh on here.
No. My days of robbing banks are over. Right? They just never got started, Stan. I'm okay, man. I'm just trying to make a point that we have to start promoting these bad people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And to all the leadership out there, when your workers come to you with an issue, don't malign them, even if they're making you look bad, because in the long run, like Stan said before, when you fix the problem, even though you may think you look bad, you really look good because you took it upon yourself to do what was supposed to happen. And to quote the great Mike Tyson, discipline is doing something that you absolutely dislike, but you're doing it like you love it, because you know it's got to get done.
There you go.
All right, family, peace. Enjoy the rest of your week and stay in your power. Yes.
All right, folks, we'll see you next time. Y'all go out and have a great rest of your day. Ciao, ciao.
Hey, Hartford, Connecticut, I'm talking to you. We got to get out and vote. Vote for Stan McCauley. It's our time. We got to rise up and take it back. Vote for Stan McCauley. Vote for Stan. You got to vote for Stan McCauley. Vote for Stan.
More than politics than just what your social covers. And it ain't somewhere written down in bold letters. Don't just take my word for it, do your research. Think of your future, look at your bigger picture. Shooting tie, clean up, unity for the righteous. Plotting on action, hands on access. With a light source vision, door to door knocking. Guerrilla style marketing, brainstorm as a collective. Real neighborhood suggestions. Only we know what it is where we living. To make real life decisions. Move on facts, make it manifest back.
You gotta vote for Stan McCauley. Vote for Stan. opportunity flow into your house. Are you working? Wait, can you save some money? And is your neighborhood safe? Or is it a homicide every night? Change it, yeah.